Good morning, everyone. Tough spot to be in just before lunch, but we'll make it snappy and also uplifting, I think. All right, so as we all know, small businesses across the region have been dealing with their fair share of challenges over the past 3 years. And today I'd like to share a little bit on a program that has been a cornerstone in business support across the region since the pandemic hit, and that's Digital Main Street. Is this the clicker? Yeah. Okay. I do want it, yeah. There. Digital Main Street. I hope that by sharing the details about this program, its impact, and some amazing success stories, we can head on to our networking lunch break feeling inspired and proud of what businesses in Leeds Grenville are accomplishing. Digital Main Street is an innovative program funded by the federal and provincial governments. All components of the program are offered free to qualifying businesses. In 2020, as the pandemic hit, not ready to go there yet. In 2020, as the pandemic hit, County's Economic Development worked with representatives from all 13 municipalities in pursuit of Digital Main Street funding to ensure that businesses in every municipality in Leeds Grenville would be able to access essential programming and also to ensure that the region leveraged maximum funding. There. The following is a regional breakdown of the 5 service areas across the counties. So we've got Westport, Rideau Lakes, Merrickville, Wolford, Elizabethtown, Kittley, Front of Yonge and Athens, served by the county's Economic Development Office, the municipality of North Grenville. We've got Prescott, Edwardsburg, Cardinal, and Augusta through the town of Prescott. City of Brockville is served by the downtown Brockville BIA, and Leeds and Thousand Islands and Gay-Anakwe are served by the township of the Leeds and Thousand Islands. This regional coordinated effort continues as the program continues. Each service provider receives grant money through the Digital Main Street program to hire staff and to provide support to businesses in their designated area. The staff assists local businesses in accessing Digital Main Street programs. There we all are. The flagship program is the $2,500 Digital Transformation Grant, and that's available to businesses who have a bricks and mortar storefront. After completing a digital transformation plan and undertaking some required training, successful businesses can use the $2,500 to improve their online presence by advertising, accessing consultants, or by investing in hardware. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have gone directly into Leeds Grenville businesses over the past 4 intakes of the Digital Transformation Grant. There's no denying that grant money for digital transformation is a huge draw for participation. However, I also want to take some time today to draw the attention to the Digital Service Squad program. While the grant money is only available to businesses with a brick and mortar storefront, the digital service staff are available to almost any business in Leeds Grenville, and this allows businesses to access priceless one-on-one support with local digital experts. I strongly believe that it's the personal and local service that has made the digital service program such a success. All of the staff members across the region are highly talented and care deeply about helping businesses in the region succeed. Through this program, support could include help launching or enhancing social media accounts, fine-tuning or upgrading existing websites, content creation, photography, and many other things. From my experience, most businesses value having ongoing access to someone with a wide range of digital and technical skills to help them troubleshoot any problem they might be experiencing. Another program to mention is Shop Here, and that's offered through Digital Main Street, where businesses and artists can work with a web developer to have a website created for them for free. So now that I've given you an overview of Digital Main Street, I'd like to invite up some businesses from Leeds Grenville who have seen great success through the programs. Through these testimonials, I hope you'll get a sense of just how impactful Digital Main Street programs have been across the region, regardless of location and sector. First up, I'll introduce Norma Banford of Golden Moment Farm in Athens.
I don't like being first. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to talk about the program. I wasn't unknown to digital. I knew it. I worked in the feds for enough years, but moving forward at a rate that was going to help our maple syrup business is where I got sort of stymied. So I did access both programs, the Digital Main Street and the Shop Here. It was good because my website was very outdated and very simple, and I got the expertise through the Shop Here program of getting that ready to launch into something that could either be an online order, delivery, whatever, to just updating the website itself. So that was great. But the portion I think that it really helped us was the strategic overview of how we could move forward in what we did in terms of digital, updating our own processes. And there was two main focuses. One of the things I liked about the program, I'll say, is building the transformational plan was one thing, but when you start the program, you don't necessarily know what you need because you don't know what's there. And through the process and through some very excellent consulting, I was able to adapt my plan. And as long as we kept everybody informed, the plan could evolve as my knowledge grew. So we managed to get an inventory and labeling system, which I can say has improved. I just bottled 2 barrels of syrup. And every one of those little bottles has to have a label and has to be lauded. And it was very time consuming when my labeler would only do 10 labels at a time, and I'm looking at maybe 300. So I got a labeler, which, like, I would say it's cut my time by 60% in getting those labels created and on the bottles with the minimum error rate that I would have had before. The other part that was really helpful was we would go to shows. We would have people come to the farm, and it was by cash. We had no access, or we couldn't get the internet to have people tap and pay. So we talked about what would be the best system. I worked with the consultant again and figuring out what would work for us. And we were able to get, a square and get it operational. The very first time we used it was during Maple Fest at Perth last year. And we increased our sales that day, I would say, by 25%. Just having the ability for people to come up and say, oh, I'd really like to buy that bottle. Oh, you take credit? Yeah, oh, tap and pay. So I was skeptical as to whether it would make a difference, and it definitely did. It makes a difference in the Sugar Shack. When people come and they want to buy and they say, oh, I didn't bring enough money. That's okay. What I've learned is that the phone is really easy to connect to Square, and my internet at home is not stable enough and it's not secure. But the phone internet, it works. So I turn on Square, and people can tap and pay. So the program itself is great. We got hardware that helped us exponentially in the business. I got excellent support from everybody with both programs. And it was probably one of the easiest grant programs I've ever accessed, where we received the most benefit. So I want to thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Norma. All right, next I'd like to introduce Shelley Mitchell, owner of To Be Continued Consignment Shop in Grenville.
Oh, good morning. My name is Shelley Mitchell, and I am the owner-operator of To Be Continued in Grenville. We are Grenville's family consignment shop, children's toy store, and helium balloon headquarters. I apologize if I fumble a bit. It's been a good 3 years since I've had the opportunity to public speak. To Be Continued is in its 19th year of business and has seen dramatic changes in how businesses engage with and use social media, online shopping platforms, e-marketing, and the overall importance of a business's online presence. This shift has never been more important as it has over the last 3 years, where brick and mortar shops were forced to pivot and find creative ways to stay in touch with and meet their customers' needs, all the while not being able to open their doors, dealing with customers' public health concerns, and competing with the online shopping market. I was first introduced to the Digital Main Street program in 2019, prior to the start of the pandemic. During my initial introduction, I worked with a digital squad member to receive an assessment of my digital presence and work on making improvements based on that feedback. I also applied for and received the Digital Transformation Grant. Not being able to see into the future, at that time, I had no idea how important this grant and that assessment was to be. Thanks to the initial grant, To Be Continued had already done the work with social media platforms and had a pre-existing engaged audience at our fingertips. Having a social media following, a well-established page, and a relationship with its followers, I was able to use this platform to connect with customers and set up a way for them to shop at the safety of their own homes. While retail was deemed non-essential, meeting the needs of growing children during seasons change and in upcoming special occasions such as Easter was definitely an importance to parents. To Be Continued was able to meet those needs by using its newly enhanced social media. During the midst of the pandemic, I had an opportunity to reapply for the Digital Transformation Grant, which was invaluable at the time. The pandemic was an unprecedented experience for business owners, and there was little direction or understanding of the impact this was to have. The beginning of the pandemic saw To Be Continued scrambling to finish our online store that had only just been started. This grant allowed To Be Continued to advertise the new online store and promote it. Thanks to the online store, customers were able to shop and find the items they needed more efficiently than just using social media. At that time, I was able to hire a consultant to further enhance our social media presence and purchase a second computer to meet our ever-changing technological needs. These technological advances would become so important as that first year progressed and more closures and public health measures followed. So my third experience with Digital Main Street began this past summer when I met North Grenville's Digital Service Squad member. Ronnie began working with TBC by offering to take 360 photos that could be used in our Google listing and on our website to offer customers a virtual experience of our shop. Working with Ronnie has definitely been a transforming experience. Ronnie has helped me change my website from a one-page simple website to a multi-page, interactive, interesting, and I would say an informative work of art. Ronnie speaks in terms I do not know and talks about things I will likely never understand. But, and I do say this with astonishment, I am now able to work on my website and make necessary changes on my own. Ronnie has met with me weekly to provide patient and informed assistance, and I cannot thank him and this program enough. If you own a business in North Grenville, do yourself a favor and get in touch with Ronnie. You will not be disappointed. Moving forward, these website changes will improve my SEO, allowing customers to find To Be Continued easier and improve on the success of our online store. As we all know, this pandemic is not over, nor are the ever-changing implications for businesses. So I rest easier knowing that To Be Continued's online presence is ready to take us into the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. I'm gonna cry up here. You guys are doing so good. It's so inspiring. All right, finally, I'd like to introduce Nicole Hudson, who's the owner of Katarina's Coffee Shop in Prescott. Now, in addition to the other programs that I talked about today, Nicole is one of a handful of Leeds and Grenville businesses who took advantage of a program called Future Proof that's no longer offered. Through Future Proof, Nicole was able to work with a team of highly trained students and recent grads that included a web designer, digital marketer, graphic designer, and copywriter to propel her digital presence. All right, welcome, Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Hudson, owner of Katarina's Coffee Shop in Prescott. As a small business owner, I wear a lot of hats, and that includes the digital marketing side too. Digital Main Street helped push my small business into record sales to date, and here is how. I was in a program called Future Proof, and as Shelbi mentioned, I had the privilege to work with a very skilled and talented team. And shout out to Charlie, by the way, he was part of my Future Proof digital transformation. They studied the digital part of my business and gave me different tools to work with. At the time, we had approximately 600 followers on Facebook, about 100 on Instagram, and a Google-generated website. As of today, with all their help, we currently have 2,500 followers on Facebook and Instagram, Shopify website, and online ordering. By using those social media platforms alone, we were able to reach a market that we would not necessarily have just by word of mouth. I enjoyed working with such a diverse team who were there every step of the way. Following that, I was also in the Shop Here program. I was able to build a website with a Shopify expert, and we worked together to create a base of my website, which we still use today. The program taught me how to customize and make it sustainable for me to run, which actually now pays for itself, which is a win-win for us. And lastly, we were also part of the digital grant. I chose to put my grant towards more coaching sessions, boosting different posts on social media, and a new POS machine. This resource really depends on what your business needs. Whether it is hardware for a new POS machine, coaching sessions, or even just to hire someone to help you throughout. I also wanted to highlight this table right here, which is our digital team of Prescott, Justin, Elizabeth, and the town. They guided me throughout the process and checked up on me when I needed help. I still reach out to them today as they have an abundance of knowledge when it comes to the digital space. They even host webinars online, which help small businesses like me learn while we work. I highly recommend taking a closer look at the different programs you'd like to take advantage of. Once again, it's a free resource. There's a whole new world you can tap into once you take your business digital. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And it's so exciting to watch you continue to thrive and grow. And we can't wait to see what things you guys get up to next. So just before we end here, I'll tell you a little bit about what businesses can expect from Digital Main Street in the coming months. So there will be another intake of the Digital Transformation Grant in January, which will be available to businesses who have received funding prior to 2021. We're also excited to share that we anticipate that businesses who have already received grant money in 2021 will be able to reapply for funds in spring of 2023. Businesses can also explore grant money available through the Canadian Digital Adoption Program, which offers $2,400 in a grant for digital upgrades. Eligibility for this program is slightly different and doesn't require the businesses to have a brick and mortar location. This program will be accepting applications until 2025. Businesses across Leeds Grenville are also able to attend a number of workshops put on by local digital service providers. These free workshops can be found in the county's economic development e-newsletter, which I hope you all receive. And in the meantime, I encourage businesses to reach out to their local digital service providers to see how they can continue to advance your business's digital presence and for any assistance with the grant programs that are available. So thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of Summit.